Hey. Alright, it's time to talk about Weekly Shonen Jump 2025, issue 34. Got One Piece on the cover this week, and it looks awesome. It's like just a simple drawing of Luffy with all the gears behind him, which is really sick. I like that a lot. This is, of course, because One Piece is celebrating its anniversary this year. Of course, this means that we will be starting off with One Piece, so they got the lead cover page. So let's dive in. One Piece, Chapter 1155, The Rocks Pirates. With a title like that, man, you know it's going to be a banger, and it sure was. This is definitely a chapter for the fans, obviously. This is a lot of lore, a lot of fan service in the sense of seeing things that we've wanted to see for so long. We're seeing the entire Rocks crew, basically, minus maybe a few people. And that's massive. That is so huge. It's a dream come true. We do also start with a color page, which is really great. I love this one a lot, actually. I love these ones where it's just like, they're just in like some random town or city landscape and just doing something. It looks fantastic. But anyways, the chapter itself, very good. I liked it quite a bit. I am still, like, this, the focus on Rocks is massive. Loki is hardly in this chapter, but it does tie back to him at the end, where this kind of changes his view on the world, honestly, just hearing him talk to his dad. So that's big, and it's, I am being reminded of the chapter in the Kuma flashback, where we got to start to see the beginning of the God Valley incident. And even back then I was thinking, like, okay, are we just gonna, like, get the whole thing here randomly? But no, we don't. It cuts away. And I think this will be kind of the same thing, like that cliffhanger there we got at the end with where the Rocks Pirates is properly formed. That might be it for Rocks for this flashback. I don't know for sure. We might keep going, but I kind of hope we don't. I like I said last time, I just want Loki to be the focus. I want to spend a lot of time with Loki, get to know him, and we can do Rocks later. I'm fine with getting drip-fed Rocks information, especially if it means we can get more on Loki here, because that is the focus of this flashback, and I trust Oda enough to believe that he will handle it well. It's just, when you're reading week to week, it's hard not to think about these kind of things. But yeah, I think One Piece is off next week, so we won't really get to continue this, unfortunately. Great chapter regardless. I liked it quite a bit. Ichi the Witch, Chapter 43, Plenty. So this is very much a transitional chapter. We're in between arcs right now. It's pretty classic stuff. We're just getting things moving, wrapping things up from the last, and getting started on the new story. But I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far. Goku Raku finally joining, the Team Discaris is great. He looks awesome in the uniform. So excited to see the new team do things together. And time again, I'm proven that we are in good hands with this series, because something I don't think I've mentioned on this show yet, but something I've always thought, at least in recent chapters about this series, is that Komugi wasn't really used at all. Like, she just doesn't get to do a whole lot, even though she's a member of the main team. But we're getting to her now. I feel like what we're leading into is going to be like a proper introduction to the character, where she's going to find her own footing and start contributing more, I think. So, very excited to see where that goes. The whole setup so far for what's looking to be the next arc it's looking fun. It's looking like a good time. So, good stuff.
Get this man a gun.
Sakamoto Days, Chapter 222, The Battle Begins. I had a huge smile on my face through like the whole back half of this chapter. This is some classic Sakamoto Days stuff. I'm so excited to see how this turns out. We got Nagumo versus Oki starting, seemingly. This is just the beginning of a larger fight, I'm sure. I guess it could end after that last panel, but I really don't think so. We're going to be in the chapter is literally called The Battle Begins, so we're in it now. This is going to be a really cool fight. It's already it's got so much sauce and style. I love it. The scene where the car drives off the top of the building and the couple's like breaking up in the window, and she's like, I just wanted some excitement. Well, there it is. It's just, I love this stuff about Sakamoto Days. I feel like it's been quite some time since we've gotten a fight quite like this, you know? It's been so serious lately, and this is serious to some degree too, but it's also got that, you know, that unique Sakamoto Days flair, which is exciting. I can't wait to see more of this fight. This is just the beginning. So this isn't gonna get like chapter of the week or anything, unless the rest of this week is really dry, but I did really love this, and I'm like very excited to continue on with this now. I'm locked in. I've been a little sour on Sakamoto Days on this show lately, just because it hasn't been super clicking with me the last few chapters, but I'm back on the Sakamoto train with this one. This was good stuff. Again, I keep saying that this week. Akane-banashi Chapter 167, Leave It All Out There. Another fantastic chapter, of course. We're still in the middle of Hikaru's performance. Well, actually, it's ended now as of this chapter. And results will probably be next week, and I'm very excited to see how she scores here, because that seemed like a pretty amazing performance. Everybody was pretty impressed. The judges, we even see some reaction shots. At least, were those the judges? Actually, I'm unsure now, but regardless, from the crowd, whoever that was, I don't remember what the other judges looked like. Anyways, good reactions from the crowd. Got obviously a roaring round of applause at the end. Awesome stuff. This was really great to see. I loved this chapter. This was probably my favorite chapter of the performance, honestly. It was just, she was really in the zone. She was flowing. It was moving. Felt great. And I'm super excited to see the results next week. That's the main thing. This was a great chapter on its own, obviously, but I need to see the outcome. I'm dying to know how this turns out. And then moving on from there, it gets even more exciting beyond this performance. So yeah, I'm all in. This is exciting stuff. I love this series so much. And this chapter is a great encapsulation of why. Me and Roboco Chapter 242, Mako and Roboco. So we got a classic body swapping story here. Done to pretty good effect. I thought this was a pretty enjoyable chapter. Not like the greatest chapter of Roboco in the world, but I still thought it was a good read. You know, I'm not complaining. It was a fine chapter. There was some decent gags. I think the moment that stands out the most is Mako like being genuinely into Roboco's knees. It's always funny when that gag gets brought around, because it's like, you think it's just some delusion of Roboco that she thinks her knees are so great, but then like tons of other characters also agree that her knees are just awesome. it's a funny bit. Oh yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this chapter. It was good. Pretty good one. Blue Box Chapter 204, The Possibilities. Start off with a nice color page, of course. Classic, good one as usual. Never really disappoints with Blue Box. And this chapter is an interesting one. I wasn't like super on board with it for the first bit. I mean, it's a pretty serviceable chapter. The part with the trees, you know, Taiki realizing, oh yeah, there's so much room to grow, yada yada, that whole thing. That was a nice little moment. There was a cool Kyo moment where he calls Ayame's hair ties cute, and Ayame realizes he probably wasn't talking about the hair ties, right? Classic Kyo Riz. But then we end off the chapter. So it was the last chapter, I was talking about how the focus seems to be shifting to Hina. And now we open and the focus isn't really on her again, but now we loop back around to the focus being on her. And we are kind of forced into it now. She's alone. She got separated from the group. And I just really wonder where this is going. I guess we're going to get some moments of self-reflection from Hina, and I don't know. I really don't know where this is going, but I'm on board. I think this is looking to be interesting. I just can't imagine what the purpose of this is going to ultimately be. But I'm into it. I'm willing to see where it goes. I'm not really, I'm not skeptical in a bad way. I really don't know where this is going. Yeah, interesting. Not a particularly great chapter or anything, but it has me curious. And that's what a good cliffhanger does, I suppose.
And it's mommy makeout day.
Kaedegami Chapter 5, Heavy as It Should Be. Much easier title to say than last week's. And I don't have a whole lot in particular to say about this one, but instead I'd like to talk about just the art and how it's growing on me a lot. I think it's a really nice art style. It's pretty loose with its like proportions and facial structure. They just kind of like blob around a lot. I continue to like the relationship between Chiyo and the main character, whose name I guess I can't be bothered to remember because I still don't know it, but I'll get there one day. And just more setup. This chapter, you know, it's fine. I'm excited to see this actually get into a proper story, which is definitely where we're going now. It's very clear by the ending of this chapter that we're going to get into like a arc, probably, or something akin to it at least. Even if it's just a short little thing, we're gonna get like a story happening finally, which I'm excited to see. I want to see what this series can do, because for now it has felt a little aimless, admittedly. And I mean aimless in the sense that it's just not focused. Like, obviously the main goal is to get Chiyo's body parts back. But I don't feel like we are really... I don't see the path to make that happen, per se. But now I do. We're just going to keep fighting people that have the body parts until it happens. Which, fair enough. Cool. I mean... if that's what this series is, then sure. It is very similar to Fabricant 100. It grows more and more similar by the day. Witch Watch Chapter 210, Adorably Mighty Girl. This was a fantastic chapter. This is some classic Witch Watch here. I was laughing my ass off the whole way through. The basic premise is that the stand user girl, what is her name? I don't know. Chami, I guess? Sure. She's filming a commercial for ramen, and she wants help from the gang, so she gets a strength amplification spell. She just totally ruins everything. She's like acting with this famous actor, and he just like ruined his day, and they have to improv through the whole thing like nothing's going wrong. It is so funny. Oh my god. I was laughing my ass off. The part where she like blows his face because she's trying to blow the steam off of the ramen. She like punches him through a wall, rips his shirt off. This was really good. This might be chapter of the week. I'm gonna be honest. This was very, very good. This is my favorite Witch Watch chapter in quite some time. I can't complain that this was fantastic. I loved it.
Bruh.
Ekiden Bros Chapter 4, the Odani University Track and Field Team. Oh, here it is, your classic sports series team introduction chapter. I don't know. I'm still not enjoying the series. It's just super bland. The art is like interesting. That's the one positive thing that it's not even precisely positive, I suppose. It's a thing. Like, it looks interesting. I've never really seen art quite like this in Shonen Jump, at least. So there's that, but nothing else about it is engaging to me. I don't like these characters at all so far. The way the running is portrayed, like we just saw our first like race, and it wasn't fun to look at. Like, there's nothing interesting happening on screen. They're literally just running. And I feel the decision to make a story about running into a manga has to be like, if you're gonna do that, it's a very intentional choice. You have to have some kind of intent to make the running look visually appealing, but it doesn't. It just looks like running, like just normal real world running. It just looks like they're jogging, kind of. It's not even like dynamic running. So yeah, I don't know. This series is gonna be a flop, I'm sure. It's just not hitting at all. I don't really look at a whole lot of conversation online about Jump except for the YouTube comments here. So I don't know what the general consensus is on this, but I can't imagine people are feeling this either. It's just, there's just nothing to it. There's nothing to latch onto. Yeah, whatever. Another chapter. Before we move on to the next thing, worth noting, on the TOC there is a one-shot after Ekiden Bros called Roots 55, but we don't get the one-shots on the Shonen Jump app, so I never read them. I'm sure you can find them somewhere. But, you know, if it's not on the app for me, I don't really bother with it. I'm not super into reading scans and stuff if I don't have to. And the one-shots, like, they're a part of the magazine for sure. It is a shame I have to miss them completely, and I would read them. But I'm not too upset about it at the end of the day. I don't know anything about this one-shot. I don't really look into them because I know I can't read them. Maybe one day that'll change, and they'll start putting the one-shots on the app, but hasn't happened yet. So we're missing out on Roots 55. You can check it out if you want, but it will not be talked about here. Ping-Pong Peril Chapter 3 Resolve. Still loving this series, guys. This was a great chapter. The art is just so dynamic. The action is amazing. It's all just so engaging and fun to look at, fun to read. It's intense kind of because you feel for both, because of the concept of this series, you feel for both sides, you know. They're both fighting for something, or it's not fighting, but you know what I mean. Metaphorically fighting for something. They're everybody here is trying to pay off a debt in some capacity, or trying to pay something, because this is all money. Money is the driving force behind this Ping-Pong Peril game. It just works so well. It also helps having this like endearing main character in Tyra, who sympathizes with his opponents, at least so far. I'm sure we're going to get some true assholes later that have no sympathy, but this is a fantastic first opponent to have because he is sympathetic. He's just a guy, he's trying to do something for his daughter, but he's got to be taken down. Tyra's got to pay off his debt too. He's got problems of his own to face. He's got a sister to care for. So yeah, I love this series. I really do. I think this is fantastic so far. I hope it can keep itself interesting. You know, I hope it can keep other audiences engaged to stay afloat in this magazine. It's intense. It's a cutthroat industry, and I have seen many good and promising series get cut short because of nonsense. So I'm really rooting for this one already. We're only 3 chapters in, and I am really hoping that this catches on because I think it's great. Kagurabachi Chapter 87, Phantoms. And let me tell you, the way that title is dropped is so cool. How it's like, just the title is written on like a piece of paper, in universe. That was sick. Other than that, not a whole lot to say about this chapter. It's definitely got some moments. Like I do like the whole thing about, you know, like betting your life against being guided to the bathroom. That was just a interesting, funny moment. Look into his character too, and yeah, cool art. You know, I'll probably have on screen right now the coolest moment in the chapter art-wise. That's just really cool poses, as per usual. Stock standard Kagurabachi chapter. Honestly, there's not a whole lot for me to say about it, but it's certainly amping up. We're gonna be getting a lot of cool moments in the near future. Things are heating up, and you know, it makes me think back to what I said last week about how I was upset. Was that last week? I think that was last week. About how, you know, spotlight was kind of being taken away from the end of the Samura stuff. But if you view this as like, as that being like the mid-finale to a larger arc, then I can kind of get behind it more. I'm starting to see the vision more because we have been in the middle of a big thing for a while. It's just hard to not get focused on the Samura stuff because to me, that was the most interesting part of this whole thing so far. I could be, you know, I could turn around on that because I am interested to see where this goes to, but I was just so locked in on the Samura stuff. I just wanted a more concrete finale to it, but instead we had to end it and then immediately start setting up the next thing. But viewing it as just a piece of a larger puzzle is helping me see the vision more. So this chapter helped in that regard, but other than that, not a whole lot to say. It was solid.
That's a baseball!
Harukaze Mound Chapter 6, Letting Them Hit. That's an interesting chapter title. This will be a short segment, and that's not a bad thing. It's just that I want to reiterate, I feel like I'm going to say the same thing about this series every week for the foreseeable future, but it is really hard for me to talk about this series right now because I don't dislike it at all. I think it's actually pretty solid. But what it is it's a sports series. And it's the beginning of a sports series. And I could not imagine, like Haikyuu, I love Haikyuu. I couldn't imagine talking about like chapter 5 of that series on this show. It's just like, I don't know what to say. Because I'm not invested in the characters enough yet to be like, oh hell yeah, awesome moment. And I'm not like pumped up to see them play a game, which is what we're building to. We're building their first game together as a team. And cool. I'm down. I'll read that. I'll start to feel something, I'm sure. But it's going to take time for me to feel anything in particular about this series because I can't get invested into sports manga characters by just seeing them practice. I need to see their drive. I need to see their spirits like come out during the game. And we haven't gotten there yet. So, opinion pending, I guess. I do like it though. I can feel it becoming something that I'm going to enjoy. I do appreciate that it's letting itself build to something. A lot of sports series that have been running in this magazine lately, or trying to run in this magazine lately, they just rush straight into the good stuff, and that really hurts it because you don't have that investment from before. Yeah, well, we'll see how this goes. I have no ill feelings towards the series at all. I just don't really know what to say about it as of this moment.
Brother, this guy stinks!
Nice Prison Chapter 13, the fourth. What is this series doing so high on the TOC? What's going on? Yeah, not good. Again, I didn't laugh. Is super female prisoner really the best name that could be come up with for this character? And like, yeah, sure, I get that that's maybe the joke, but still sucks. And as does this entire series. So, yeah. Well, what can you say? The 4-coma theater is still absent. I don't know. I guess it was just a one and done. Maybe that was an editorial decision, or maybe he just ran out of ideas after those two. Who could say? Shinobi Undercover, Chapter 42, Big Sister, Little Brother. This is actually a really good chapter. I like this quite a bit. This is probably the most locked in I've been on a Shinobi Undercover chapter in quite some time. Because, like I've said in previous weeks, I'm not really feeling this arc a whole lot. It's just not my type of deal. But this was cool. Some really, really cool art. And I just like that drive to want to see Yotaka win. It's cool. It's just a nice little, friendship bond, classic shonen moment. But it worked. And I think it was really sweet and effective. And yeah, really great art, dynamic action, classic for the series. It's usually pretty solid. Oh, and there was a color page, by the way, this week, which it looked pretty good. And nothing like super crazy, but I liked it. It is a shame with the series because there is the other aspect of it, which is like more slice of life type stuff, like relationship building, that I like more than the action. And I haven't gotten to talk about that side of it yet here on this show, but we'll get back to it, I'm sure, and I'll have more to say. But yeah, it's action, it's fighting, it's cool. I liked it. It was good to look at.
You what?
Go Blue Chapter 110, Counterattack. Not bad, honestly. I've been this series has been okay these past two chapters, and I think I can kind of be on board with what's going on here. It's not like bad. It's pretty entertaining, I'd say. I'm not like hating my time reading it. I can't say a whole lot because it's not like I love this series now or anything, but I have to admit that it's not been bad. I can sit here and read this chapter and not complain about it. And that's a step up from what it's been before. It's still not perfect. Like, I still think this is a pretty sloppily written series, all things considered. But I can't help but admit that I'm kind of excited for next chapter. I think it'll be entertaining, at the very least. So, yeah. That's all you can ask for. Not bad.
What are you doing, step bro?
New Exorcist, Chapter 107, A New Battlefield. It's a new fight chapter. I can't, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's like the worst thing ever, but it's not interesting. Like, there's nothing to really sink my teeth into. It's just fighting, and Nue fights are generally boring and repetitive. This one at least was a little more interesting than that. I got to give it some credit, and to its extreme credit, I'm actually very impressed this time around. We got a genuine moment of Gakuro acting like a captain, which he has been for quite some time, even though it never feels like it. He is the captain of squad for whatever, what is he? Sixth branch is what he is of the Soul Reapers, whatever it is. And yeah, that was cool. They got all stanced up. That was a pretty neat moment. I liked that. But other than that, it's just, they're fighting. It's a thing. I'm not invested in this plot at all. I don't care about the reason they're fighting very much. But for what it was, not bad, I guess. I can't really complain too much. It was just a fine chapter. Hima-Ten, Chapter 51, Himari's Strategy. Now we're talking. This is good stuff. This is the Hima-Ten that I liked before. I really like this direction that Hima is going in. This is just so fun to see her take the initiative and make moves on her own to try to get Iori to wake up and see that you know, she wants something more out of this. And they're actually going on a date. So that's huge. I'm imagining next week Hima-Ten will be on the cover. So we're probably going to get straight into the date. That's a great chapter to celebrate the anniversary on, which is why it's getting the cover, by the way. But yeah, this was super fun. I loved seeing her, you know, be all moody and stuff and not actually feel that way in any capacity. Just trying to get under her skin, and it worked like a charm. Just great, you know, high school shenanigans. I love it. This was a lot of fun. This was the best Hima-Ten chapter in a good while, I think. I had a lot of fun with this one. Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi, Chapter 53, Favorite Worst Nightmare. This was an excellent chapter. I actually really, really liked this one. You know, this series is kind of, I don't want to say hit or miss, but I'll say off and on, because it's like, you know, sometimes it's super great, sometimes it's just okay. It's never bad. And that's the big detail, you know. It's super solid series, but this was a really great chapter to me. I really like the moment where Asturoth, I think is how you say it, you know, the demon lord, he like beats Kiyoshi, or seemingly, like, you know, beats him down at least. He's just like, is that really it? And he kind of like loses it. He's like, man, I'm so disappointed that this is all you had, Kiyoshi. I wanted this to be like a big fight, but that was it. Yeah, just super great moment there. I really like that a lot. And then we end off with Akari finally stepping in and doing something, which, I mean, she has been doing stuff. Like, she's not completely worthless or anything, but it's cool to see her get a big focus here. And I'm excited to see what happens with this, because obviously Kiyoshi's not done here. This fight's going to continue. But to what degree? Is she going to do something here to like buy him time or get him some energy or something? Then on top of that, we also have Sakaki coming in too, as of last chapter, or 2 chapters ago, I think. So a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff on the table. I'm pretty excited to see how this all turns out. This is going to be a fun conclusion to this fight. It might take a bit. I don't know how long this will really take to wrap up. I also still don't know if the series is ending or not. It's so hard to tell. It is low on the TOC, but it's, you know, it sells relatively well. It's decent. I'm not going to say it's like a huge hit, but it sells. And it pulls well most of the time. But, you know, if it ends around this time, you know, if we beat this villain and it's over, then so be it. But I think it would be cool to see it continue beyond this and see what it would have up its sleeve. But if not, that's fine. I'm really enjoying the series for what it is. And even if the end is coming up soon, I hope to see this mangaka do something else in the future, because I think they are very talented. But that's something we can talk about more in the future if the series does end. For now, let's see where this goes. I'm excited. Cool stuff. This series has been a lot of fun lately. Ultra of the Flame, Chapter 11, The Iron Spirit. Basically take what I said last week and amplify it, or at least reiterate it, because Yuki Kawaguchi, a talented artist, very good paneling. I was actually very impressed at the end. I'll show it on screen. That was cool paneling. All right, that looked awesome. I was like, damn, you know, that's impressive. And even like the way to end the fight, it's very tropey, but like the whole, you know, the villain admires the person who beat him kind of thing. Like, you know, well done. That whole thing. I like that trope. I'm a sucker for that trope, and it worked. And there's some awesome art here. There's cool paneling. I did call some of the paneling kind of nonsense last time, but this time all the paneling worked. I'm not gonna say it read super well. Still, there was some really incomprehensible moments in this chapter, but it still looked cool. There's some awesome designs. Again, I'll show another thing on screen here probably. It's great art. This guy can draw. He can make a comic. Kind of. It's so frustrating. He like rides this fine line of it's like almost amazing, but the writing and the way the story is conveyed and the way the panels flow, the way the story flows, it's all whack. It's just like, and not in a good way. You can do something like this and have it be fun and entertaining to read because it's just like wild and nonsensical, which I haven't read it, but to my understanding, Red Hood kind of had that appeal where it just kind of, especially near the end where it kind of goes off the rails. I know about that whole thing. But this is a story that's taking itself very seriously. There's like little to no comedy, and it's not landing on like any level, you know. Again, I'm saying the same stuff as last week, but it is just so frustrating because I see a potential, a huge potential in this artist, but I think they need to just take a step back and be an artist. They need a writer, and even then they still have to refine their talents, because even with a good writer, if you're drawing, if it's an action series and you're drawing fights that are as nonsensical as last chapter was, it's not going to work out. So yeah, just all around super frustrating and sad. I want to see this artist do better and make something, because they have that drive. They really clearly want to get something off the ground and keep something going. But if this is the level of quality that, if this is them trying their hardest, I don't think it's going to work out. I think they need to reevaluate and change their approach at the very least, because, and, you know, this does make me want to check out Red Hood. I'll probably read Red Hood in the near future because I want to see the evolution of Red Hood to this and see if there was any improvement, because that'll help me gauge whether or not I think Jump will give them a third chance, even though I really don't think they would. Because honestly, if Red Hood wasn't as, you know, mildly popular as it was over here and then just English-speaking territories in general, I don't think they would have given this artist a second chance. So yeah, this series is going to end. This is not going to last. It's going to be a flop. 18 chapters, I guarantee you. It's on its way out. I don't feel it in the story right now, but TOC-wise, sales-wise, well, we don't know sales yet, but I can assume that the sales aren't going to be great. This is it's going to end, and it's a bummer, but we'll just see. I really do wish the best for this artist, because they got something. It's just they're not. They don't have what it takes to be in this magazine. I don't think they got to reevaluate. All right, that's gonna do it for this week of Jump. Pretty solid week. Nothing too crazy, honestly. I think every series was just pretty solid. There wasn't any like super bad chapters. Even the ones that I don't really like the series that I don't really like, they weren't bad. So credit where credit's due. Not a bad week at all. It's just not super amazing or like stand out. It was a week of Shonen Jump, you know? It was, and that's not in a bad way. Again, I'll rephrase it. It was a good week of Shonen Jump. It wasn't average, it was above average, but nothing went like out of the stratosphere this week to me. But as for chapter of the week, the one that stood out to me the most, the one that I had the most fun with, this has to be Witch Watch, chapter 210, Adorably Mighty Girl. Maybe a shocker, you know, giving a chapter like this my chapter of the week, but this has happened many times. I've given Roboco chapter of the week before on my, before I started this show. This is the most fun I had with the chapter this week. It was funny. It was a gag chapter, but man, it was so funny. I was laughing my ass off. And Witch Watch can make me laugh like no other manga can. And whenever it gets like a really good bit going, like they did this week, I got to give it up for them. You know, this was a great chapter. I thought it was pretty fantastic. So that's pretty easily my chapter of the week. There isn't much competition really. One Piece was really good, but it's good in a different way. One that doesn't really deserve chapter of the week in my opinion. And same with a bunch of others, you know, like Ichi the Witch, Kagurabachi. They were solid, but nothing chapter of the week worthy. Sakamoto Day. Oh, I do want to give a special shout out to Sakamoto Days though. That was pretty close. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. That was again, I think next chapter might have a chance. This chapter is more setting up something that is going to be awesome, but we're not seeing it quite yet, but it's going to be sick. All right, so that's all I got for this week. Next week, Hima-Ten is celebrating its first anniversary, and it's taking the cover, so that's exciting. I think that'll be a really good chapter, just based on where we left off this time. So yeah, stick around for that next week for issue 35. And of course, check out my other videos if you'd like. I do these videos every week. I've done a video just about this year in Shonen Jump. I've done a collection video. Go check out whatever you want, or don't. It's up to you. And remember to like, comment, subscribe to see more stuff like this and help grow the channel, to see more discussions in the comments on Weekly Shonen Jump. Again, just to reiterate from like the introduction video, I do want to try to make these videos kind of like a hub for discussion. It's a broad vision. It might take a while to get there if I ever do, but it's the vision I have. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week or in whatever video you decide to watch next or whatever video I make next. Later, guys.